Aidersonenfant.com.
Thank you for watching. This podcast is co-produced by Aidersonenfant.com and la Fondation Jeunes en Tête. I'm your host, Stéphanie, and I will be speaking with Freshta, who went through a breakup with a friend. Freshta, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Tell me, how did this new friend enter your life?
Well, it all started during COVID-19. I feel like we were all very antisocial and all stuck in our room and not having a lot of friends. So I decided to start talking to this one girl in my class. It was very fun at first. We would do stuff that I haven't before, like going to the movies alone with the girls or stuff like that. And I had fun. But then at some point, I realized that in her life, she had a lot of problems with her family, school, even guys. And I felt like at some point it was a lot of negative energy that I didn't really want at the beginning of the friendship. So, yeah.
So it felt very bearing, like you were the shoulder that she would cry on. Is that correct?
Yeah, it really was. I would try to help her a lot as much as I could during night calls, or even at school. We would stop listening and not listen to her problems instead of the teacher. And instead of doing my homeworks, I'll listen to her and give her solutions. And I wouldn't even concentrate on whatever else in my world. It was really just her.
Just her. So you let that friend in. And what did your parents have to say about her presence and the type of friend that she was?
Well, at first, she would come over to my house, and my parents wouldn't say a lot. They would just, give a little sneaky, not remarks, but they would look around and they would give us little looks like, hey, I don't think she's a right person for you. But I would ignore them because she was my only friend at the time, and I would do anything for her. I wouldn't listen to anyone. She really was it for me. I wouldn't listen to them.
And what were the impacts of this friendship on your mental health? Because as you said earlier, you could, speak with her all night. You could try and solve her problems during the night. You were losing some sleep over that.
Yeah. So she needed to talk about it most of the time. So at night we would call, and so I wouldn't get any sleep. And when you don't get sleep, well, you don't perform well at school. And even when you don't listen at school, not listening to at school and also not having a lot of sleep just makes me want to sleep in class, but also my grades are downgrading and I'm failing in school and I'm not in the best place. Health-wise, it's a complete mess.
At what moment did you notice that, it wasn't supposed to be that way? It wasn't right. It wasn't a kind friendship.
Around the end of the year, she posted a photo on social media, and she tagged most of our friend group inside of the photo caption. And it said that she wanted to kill herself and had suicidal thoughts because of the people tagged. That was a big piece of information that we didn't really know. We didn't really know how to act. So we were all shook because we didn't want her to tell the world about it, because then it's a very public post. So then we were scared that people would think that we were bad people, or that we would treat her wrong, or that we were just bad friends in general. So the next day we went to talk to her and we were like, hey, what is this post? What are your feelings? Why are you saying this to the whole world? Why are you saying this to the whole school? This is not how we treated you, but if this is how you feel, then maybe we should end things, because this is not the right way. This is not who we want to be. So, yeah.
Well, it must have been quite the shock, because you seem to have been there for her throughout everything that was going on in her life. How did you personally receive that post and her saying, hey, you're not a good friend to me. I'm having suicidal thoughts because of you?
It's really shocking and draining at the same time, because you're there for that person and you're giving everything you've got, and yet you're not receiving anything. And that person saying, that wasn't anything for me. That's nothing. It's draining, because you're giving everything you've got and it's still not enough.
So you ended the friendship?
Yeah, I did, because it's like a bomb. At every night, every talk, every solution I would give her, it was like ticking and ticking and ticking. And when I saw the notification of the post, it's like, hey, that's enough. You're not going to do that. I'm not going to lose my self-respect and decency. I'm not going to let that pass. I'm just going to talk to you, end it. And if you don't listen to me and if you don't agree, then that's going to be your problem, not mine anymore.
What are the flags now that you can notice when somebody enters your life? Because, I think there are flags there that you can identify for sure.
Yeah. So when you're in like a friend group, or when you're meeting someone and instantly they're trying to make you do things that normally you wouldn't do or that you're uncomfortable doing, I feel like it's a red flag that says, hey, get out of there. Because if you're not comfortable and deep down, you know that you're going to either get in trouble with your parents or even yourself. When you know that this isn't good for you, just get out of there as soon as you can. It's better to listen to the voice at the back of your head than listening to the voices of people you've just met. It's hard to know when you're being influenced in a bad way, but once it just sticks together in your head and you're like, hey, no, I have to get out. And that's when you know that it's the time to get out.
All right. And tell me, Freshta, what would you tell parents who they have a teen who's going through something similar as you? Like, what should they be doing? Because from what I'm getting, you weren't listening to what they had to say. What should they be doing?
I would tell them to not jump to conclusions and not do things without my consent, because I know there are a lot of parents out there that when they see a red flag, they instantly jump in and they talk to the person, or they talk to the principal or the parents. And that's not something I would have personally enjoyed. I would have want my parents to just be there and be like, hey, if something is wrong, I'm here to listen to you. I'm here for you. Just tell me the right moment and I'll be there. Not without my consent, not behind my back, just really when I want their help.
So we need to trust you with this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Freshta, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I think this has been very insightful for parents in terms of where should we be, next to you, in front of you, no bypassing for sure. Thank you so much, Freshta. In the next segment, we will be talking about the basics of friendship and how they should all be rooted in kindness.